Number one, you're going to determine whether the image here represents a function or not. Taking a look at the first one, this is on a graph. So what we can do is apply something called the vertical line test. Okay, the vertical line test is when we draw a line vertically, and if it passes through more than one point, it is not a function. So let's do the first one. Here's the line down that middle. Notice here that this passes through 2 points. Okay, and those 2 points were with the value of x is equal to 2. So x equals to 2 had 2 outputs, right? So therefore this is not a function, because there was this point here which was like 2 negative 1.5, and here which was 2 parentheses 1.5 close the parentheses. Okay, so that input had 2 different outputs, not a function. Same thing here. Let's draw that line down the middle once again, and I'm going to do it right here. Notice here it passes through 2 points, this and this. Here when x was 3, the output was 3 comma 4, and here was 3 comma negative 4. So this is not a function, because the input of 3 had 2 different outputs. C, when we draw a line, no matter what, it only passes through 1 point. There was only 1 point cross, so this is a function. And then let's take a look at now the charts. Okay, the way we want to approach this is this idea. Okay, so for a function, this is when each term or each input has only one output, which is value. Okay, and if that idea breaks, it's no longer a function. Okay, so that's what a function is. So the input of 1 had an output of 5, the input of 2 had an output of 6, the input of 3 had an output of 7, the input of 4 had an output of 8. Okay, so that's perfect. So if you want to write the sequence, you can write it as 1 as 5 for the first term, 6 for the second term, 7 for the third term, and 8 for the fourth term. So here we would say this is a function. Next, same idea here, right? So here the negative 1 term, we can just write it here was 6, right? Then there was like some gap for like the 0 term was also a 6. The gap for 1, the gap was 2, the gap now it's 3, which is another 6. Gap 4, 5, 6, 7 was also 6. Okay, this is like the sequence. Okay, but no matter what, every input had an output, so this is still a function. Okay, it doesn't matter if the 6 repeats or even if there's a gap, right? Doesn't matter here. All right, this is still also a function, and the reason why it's also still a function because none of the inputs repeat. All right, so this is also a function. Okay, negative 5, negative 2, 0, and negative 5. No repeating x value, which is no repeating term or input. Those are the ways you can think about it. All right, and then let's take a look down here. All right, so we have negative 4, 1, negative 5, and 6. There's no repeating term. So every single input, every single term had one output of value. So here we can say this is also a function. Let's take a look at H. 0, negative 4, 2, and 4. There was no repeating values for the input. So we can say this is also a function. And then I, let's see, we go from 3 and 3. Oh, that's the issue. This is not a function. Okay? Because the third term had 2 different outputs. All right, there you go. That is how you determine if things are a function or not a function.